Hi dear Truth Warriors, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Petra Van Dale, life coach and advocate for survivors of narcissistic and emotional abuse. And today I just want to talk about the reality of the narcissist. This is because so many of us, myself included, always tend to ask ourselves, what can I do to change the dynamic between myself and the toxic person? What do I need to say? What do I need to stop in order to make the relationship between us healthier? Well, this is not about you. This is about the narcissist and about their reality, the reality that they live in. So a narcissist perceives themselves as this larger than life character. This is the way they see themselves. This is what they show us, especially when we first meet them. Larger than life, fun, caring, kind, friendly, fun to be around. These are all the traits that they have picked up from studying human behavior. And they know that in order to get you into their web, this is what they need to show you in the beginning stages of the relationship. But at the core of their identity, there is shame and there is fear. These are the two big ones, shame and fear. And because they are not willing to look at that within themselves and correct it, they project these feelings of shame and fear onto you, onto me, onto every target that comes into their vision, into their view. They feel entitled. They feel that there's absolutely no problem with the way they interact with you, the way they treat people, what they say, what they do. They do not see the problem. And so again, everything is projected onto you. And while they do this, of course, they are undermining your sense of self-worth. This is what a narcissist does. This is their hidden agenda, to undermine you, your self-worth, your value, everything that you that makes you you. This is what they're looking to destroy and to totally undermine. So what happens is that we take on the shame, the fear, the guilt, and we do not feel entitled. We do not feel worthy of true love and respect. So that is why we think that we need to correct our behavior. We need to show up differently. We need to love on them more. We need to save them from themselves in order to allow them to have the space to turn into these magical human and healthy beings. We feel that this is on us when it is not. It is not your job to fix the narcissist. It is not in your capacity to fix the narcissist. This is a disorder that cannot be fixed. Because in order to be able to fix something, fix a problem, fix a disorder, you have to acknowledge that you have that disorder. You have to acknowledge that you have a problem. And when you are not willing, as in the case of a narcissist, to acknowledge this, then there is nothing to be fixed, or it cannot be fixed. So don't fool yourself into believing that you can save them and that you can fix them. This is absolutely impossible. So the narcissist's reality is that they live in la la land. They do. Their perception of themselves is completely distorted, completely. They are incapable of having sincere and intimate relationships because they are totally disconnected from themselves. And when you are disconnected from yourself, as in the case of a narcissist, how on earth are you going to connect with another human being on a healthy level? This is really what's going on, is that there's a total disconnect. But on the outside, of course, the mask that they put on is that that they're caring, that they're friendly, that they're loving, that they are totally connected to themselves. And because they see it in you, because they see it in other people, they are chameleons. Don't forget that. They see how they should be, what a healthy person looks like. They copy these traits and then they project them or they mirror them back to you, so that in the beginning of the friendship or relationship, you believe that you are interacting with a healthy human being. This is simply not the case. So what they ultimately do is copy and paste their whole identity of shame and fear They copy and paste that into your mind, and they do it with such a subtle venom that you start to believe that you are the problem. You believe there is something wrong with you. You believe there is something wrong with your behavior, which is what is causing them to treat you in this very destructive and abusive way. So don't forget that. It's a copy and paste of their own identity, and they copy and paste that into your mind, because the mind is a very powerful tool. You can brainwash the mind through manipulation, through intimidation, through repeating the same destructive opinions onto the other person. This is what a narcissist does. They just repeat and repeat and repeat. And it is done in such a subtle way that before you are even onto them, this information, wrong, incorrect information, has settled in your mind. And then you start to believe that there is something wrong with you and with your essence. It's a very evil disorder. Very evil. So a couple of things that are very clear. Once you have become involved with the narcissist, it becomes very clear, because then the true pattern of their reality starts to form. And, when you see a behavior occurring once or twice, it could just be the behavior at that given point in time. But when it happens a third, a fourth, fifth, sixth time, then there is a pattern of destructive behavior. And this is the red flag that you need to be looking out for. For those of you who are just coming into that knowledge of what you're dealing with in your life, this is one of the red flags. And the victim mentality, I've just written down a few things that are very that is a red flag. One of them is the victim mentality, and this is going to show up quite early on in the friendship or relationship or in the family dynamic. Once you become attuned to how they show up, what their behavior is like, the victim mentality is poor me, my trauma, what I've been through, what the other person has done to me. I'm just this victim. I cannot help myself. You should be feeling sorry for me. And boo hoo hoo, crocodile tears. So when they show you this side of their character, especially in the beginning, we will try to rescue them. We will try to help them. And once they see that we do that, that's when the grandiose self will then reappear, because they have again reeled you in by playing the victim. Huge red flag. Another one is that their punishment never fits the crime. So you could just look at them the wrong way, you could just say the wrong thing, and you will be given either anger or the silent treatment. This could be days, this could be weeks, this could be months. In some cases I've heard it can even be years, where you are given either anger or the silent treatment. So your crime may be very minute, but their punishment does not fit that crime. It's just totally out of context. It's over exaggerated. It does not fit the crime that you supposedly committed. Another red flag is, or reality of the narcissist, is that they are the greatest. This is the way they perceive themselves. They're the greatest in bed, they're the greatest partner, they're the greatest parent, they're the greatest whatever in their field of work. And in seeing themselves as the greatest, there is also a huge level of criticism on others. Now, I myself saw this with one of the narcissistic people in my life, where this person was in the same branch, coaching field as I am, and we would go to seminars, we would go to workshops together, we would go to training together, and she would always criticize the person on the stage. Doesn't matter what information they brought, doesn't matter what they said, she would start with criticizing them in our presence. And then at some point when there was a break in the training, when we, have a break for coffee or tea, she would get up, go up to this person and just bombard them with criticism. And it's disgusting to watch. There is no respect, there is no dignity in it, there is just pure criticism. And this criticism is also part of the narcissistic rage. When they see that, I'm just using the coaching field as an example, when they see that someone is good at their game, when they see that someone is telling the truth, when they see that this person is coming from a place of integrity, from trust, this is what they want to destroy. So the only way they know how to destroy this is by applying a huge amount of criticism. And it is very embarrassing to those around who are witnessing this. So this all has to do with that feeling of entitlement, this grandiose feeling, I am the greatest. Another part of the narcissistic reality is that they are not capable of applying introspection. So they don't want to be rescued. And this is the mistake that we make, the targets. We make the mistake of thinking that we can rescue the narcissist, that we can help them to get healthy, that we can help them to see another way to be. But they do not want to be rescued. Because if they were to heal themselves, then what is the payoff? This all has to do with the hidden agenda that the narcissist has. Their payoff is making others fearful, shameful, feeling guilty, feeling terrible about themselves. That is their payoff. They have a very sick and twisted mind. So if you were to help them to rescue themselves, if they were to get themselves healthy again by applying introspection, then that would mean their payoff would be taken away. So do not even waste your time or energy trying to rescue these people. It is an impossible task. And furthermore, it is not your task to do. It is not up to you to help someone else save themselves. It is not up to you to think that you have all the tools to fix this person. It is just not going to happen. Another aspect of the narcissist reality is that there is never peace. There is never any peace. And you can see this even more clearer around the holidays. We're moving into the festive season now. So it's around the holidays, it's around special days, it's around birthdays, weddings, funerals even, is that they cannot settle into any space of peace. It is impossible for them because, again, there is no payoff. They need the drama, they need the chaos in order to survive. So with whatever special day you're going through, with whatever holiday you're going through, they are going to disrupt the peace by doing whatever they need to do to create the chaos, to create the drama, so that the spotlight is back on them. Because if you were to have a peaceful holiday, a peaceful birthday, a peaceful whatever it is, a time of enjoyment for family or for friends, they do not like, this level of peace. So they're going to do everything in their power to disrupt it. This, again, is their reality. They cannot do with peace. They cannot do with joy. They cannot do with happiness. They need darkness, they need destruction, they need chaos. One of the last ones that I jotted down here that was just, I mean, there are of course, very many traits or red flags that mark their reality, the narcissist reality. But the last one that I have here is that they are the ones holding the hidden agenda. They always have a hidden agenda. So it's all nice and smooth on the outside, but the inside is rotten. So this is the way they show up, especially when there's an audience, especially when they're out in the world, is that they will put on this mask of being the greatest parent, the greatest friend, the greatest coach, the greatest manager. So it's all just this beautiful chameleon mask they put on to fit in with their surroundings at any given time. And this is because they hold a hidden agenda. A narcissist does not just show up just for the hell of showing up. There is always a hidden meaning behind their actions and behind their words. And the hidden meaning is always to allow the world to see them in a totally different light than who they are behind closed doors. So this is where they get their thrill. This is where their juice comes from, is that if they can manipulate you into believing that they are a totally different person than who they in fact are, then this is again their payoff. This is what brings them sick joy, is that they can get you to that level of manipulation. You believe all the stuff they're telling you, all the stuff that they are showing you, and they know what the reality is. So their hidden agenda is to cause you sorrow, cause you pain, cause you confusion. This is their hidden agenda. So given what I've just said, this is the narcissist reality. This is the reality of them that is never going to change, no matter how much work you put into them, no matter how much love and compassion and understanding you show them. This is not going to change. This is who they are. You are not dealing with a healthy human being. You are dealing with a very sick and distorted disorder. So the sooner you can accept that, come to terms with that, the better off you're going to be, because there is no point in wasting your time and energy on someone or with someone who is simply not invested in change. The most loving thing you can do for yourself, these are the most important things I believe, is that if you are still in that dynamic of a narcissistic friendship or relationship or family dynamic, is to start to set boundaries. You need to set those boundaries. And you know, setting boundaries doesn't have to be this huge, big adventure that you take on. Setting boundaries can simply be saying no, because no is a complete sentence. You can say, no, I refuse to succumb to your wishes. I do not feel comfortable doing A. I do not feel comfortable saying C. Whatever it may be, you get to set that boundary, because your boundary is like your garden. You have this beautiful garden that you nurture and that you maintain. You've got all these beautiful plants and flowers and vegetables growing. And if you do not put up a fence or a wall around around your garden, then any toxic person can just come in and pull out your plants, your vegetables, your flowers, pull them all out and create chaos and drama. So the boundary is saying there is a gate at the end of the garden, and you can only enter that gate on invitation. That would be my invitation. That is a boundary. That is showing the other person where they start. And it is showing yourself this is my sacred space. Anyone who is disrespectful cannot enter that sacred space. This is very important. And boundaries, if you have never been taught how to set boundaries, then it can be a huge challenge for you. So take baby steps. You cannot go from 0 to 100 within a matter of weeks. You have to take baby steps in setting boundaries. And the first way to find out where your boundaries are is by looking to see how does your body respond to irresponsible, destructive, disrespectful behavior. Because your body is going to have a reaction to that. If you feel hot, sweaty, if you feel panicked, if you feel fearful, this is your body telling you that is where the boundary has been violated. That is the first way to identify where your boundary is. So just be very aware of this. What brings you joy and what does not bring you joy? That is another way of identifying where your boundary is, and then communicating that boundary to the narcissist in your life and adding a consequence to that. So I've said this in previous videos. If the boundary is, if you continue to speak to me in that very mean tone, then I refuse to answer. I will get back into conversation with you once we can have a conversation in a respectful manner. There's the boundary. If you continue to speak to me, raise your voice to me, then I will no longer get into a conversation with you. That is the consequence. And then you need to back up that consequence. That is just one way. So boundaries and self-worth. Never let anyone tell you how much value you hold. You are the only one who can establish your boundaries, and in doing so, knowing what value you hold for yourself. What is the standard that you hold for yourself? If you don't know and appreciate your own value, then there's no way you are going to show others where your value is and how much value you hold for yourself. So it's about getting very clear on your self-worth and on your self-value. And this, in order to do this, it's very important to take your attention, your focus away from the narcissist and put it back onto yourself. What are your great qualities? What are your talents? What are your values in life? Once you get clarity on these things and you give them all your attention, your focus, and you allow them to develop, you nurture them, you allow them to grow, this is how you are standing up within yourself. This is how you are embracing yourself from every single aspect, the dark side and the light side. If you do not hold yourself in high esteem and appreciate yourself for who you are, then this is what you are showing, demonstrating to the narcissist, and this is what they are going to abuse in you. So it's very important to get clear on your values, on your talents, on your great traits, because once you hold those in honor, then that is going to make such a world of difference in your life. Once you get clear on that, there is no way that you are going to tolerate bad or destructive or abusive behavior in your life anymore. So, this is part of the narcissist reality. I think this is the core of their reality. And just know that this is who they are, and they are never going to show up any other way. Take care of yourselves. Have a great festive season. For those of you in the States who are celebrating Thanksgiving, have a great Thanksgiving. And I hope to be making new videos soon before the Christmas period. Love to all of you, and speak to you all very soon. Bye for now.